Hello and welcome to this very first edition of the Premier League Overtime Show, where myself, Sam Tugwell, and Doug McDonald-Taylor, welcome mate, bring you all the news from the Premier League season 2016. Of course, Doug, welcome to the show, mate. Very exciting to have you on and plenty to talk about first week.
Absolutely, Sam, and thanks for having me. And look, the Premier League couldn't have come at a better time, really, with the NBL just coming to a close, and all of us hoop addicts, we really need our basketball fix. So couldn't have been better time for the Premier League to start, and I'm excited. Absolutely right, and there's been plenty of movements across the off-season as we take a quick look at some of the players that have gone to and fro each club in the competition so far, and I think some of the main ones, as you can see on screen there, in the men's especially, Mitch Creek, of course, headlining the 36ers. Wow. And even the Australian Boomers just recently. He's off to the Southern Tigers after having a very successful season at Woodville. Big change, that one. Look, that's a massive change, and that's the change of the comp. Mitch Creek is a marquee player. He took Woodville to a prelim final last year, and his injuries possibly got in the way of them playing off in the big dance. So him going to Southern, I know they're excited down there. It's over a few different social media already, and look, they'll be looking for a big year. And then you throw in Jordan Dodman, the veteran centre. That's a formidable front court. That's going to be tough to match, and they'll be thinking finals. Absolutely
up and up for the Tigers this season. They certainly weren't in the finals hunt last year, but they certainly are looking at something along those lines this year, especially with those two coming in, of course. And then plenty of imports as well there. Eastern have got themselves Devin McGee and Thomas Giles from the US and England respectively there, but of course some big outs, and then West Adelaide there, Demetrius Perkins coming in for the loss of David Sterner and Peter Crawford. All right, we're just going to have a quick cross now to the women's sides where they've changed over this year, and I mean North Adelaide, some huge outs especially for them. Jamie Lee Paris and Jess Smart, and then the addition of Jenna Anderson, all out for the Rockets, who were a huge part in the finals in the 2015 season. So huge losses there for them as well. Are they going to be still about in the comp this year?
I think North Adelaide, in the women's especially, they're always around about. I mean, if they just rock up with a bunch of young women, they're intense. They're always coached well, so they'll be around the mark. I mean, Jamie Lee Paris is a massive loss. Still, they've got some talent down there. Joe Hill's going around again. Yeah. They might not have the cattle to challenge for the flag, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in the 5 by the end of the year.
Absolutely looking forward to how they go, because they're always an exciting team to watch. Sturt, huge change this one. They've taken out Amy Shaw, who was one of their top scorers in 2015, brought in Forestville's former player, Jade Johnson, huge player and really good scoring change.
Yeah, look, it's not quite like for like, but Shaw gave them 17, 18 points a game last year, so that's going to be tough to cover. But Jade Johnson is, she's a great pickup for them and a big loss for Forestville. Once again, Sturt, they're a disciplined club. They play hard. Their structure's always in place, and they're always sound defensively. So they'll win enough games to put themselves in the mix. Don't worry.
Absolutely right. And then, of course, we're just going to head down south with the Tigers and Panthers. Molly McKedrick going from, obviously, the Panthers to the Tigers there. Some different little juggling acts going on there. But, of course, in the women's competition, the Norwood Flames, they're the team to beat, have been for quite a number of years, clearly the most dominant side in the Premier League, and they're going to need some really fierce competition in order to take a loss, because I think they've been undefeated in 2 of their last 3 seasons. Who is going to be the team to stop Norwood this year from getting the grand final to start with, but just getting on top of them mentally, because I think they seem to have an edge over every single club in this comp at the moment, the women's players especially. Yeah,
look, Norwood their record is unbelievable. They've lost a couple of players. Dukey and Keane have both not playing this year, so I think that'll bring them back to the pack a little bit in their depth. So certainly teams will take note of that, and not only that, can they keep it going? I mean, it's tough to stay up the top, consistently. So, most teams don't start there for more than sort of 3 or 4 years at a time. So teams will know that, and they'll be going for them. Tigers will be one. Olivia Thompson back for the Eagles, so they'll be up and about. And I mean, she's an absolute jet. So the Eagles will be going for them. Certainly Norwood. Even with those 2 outs, they have a formidable team with Foley and Jess Goods back again, and a number of others. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge for the teams to try and reel them in, definitely. But I think they'll come back to the pack. They won't go undefeated this year. Yeah,
well, they're going to be very, very fierce as always. Those Flames. Yeah. Who can put them out? Who knows? We'll find out when. Of course, Woodville take on Norwood on Friday night there on Austral Sports. So make sure to catch up on all the games this year. But we're also going to have a quick look at the men's game as well, because they're going to be playing there as well at Mars Stadium and taking on Woodville. Blockbuster game, top of the table clash from 2015. First v second, they didn't quite make the grand final, but they played in a semi. I mean, their records last year, 18-4 and 17-5. These 2 teams are probably the best 2 in the men's comp at the moment, despite them both not making the grand final against each other. That would have been the most epic, but still, Woodville are very, very strong. But with the loss of Mitch Creek, is that a wavering point there for them?
Oh, look, definitely. You can't lose Mitch Creek and expect to, stay where you are. They've also lost Nixon, who gave them 16 or 17 points a game, and the veteran Cam Wilson, who is one of the best point guards this league's ever seen. And he's their captain, and so with those 3 out, it's going to be a tough task to stay sort of in the top tier. And this first week coming up against Norwood, Holmes in. Lysett in, the Webber brothers will be up and about. Don't you worry about that.
They always are.
You'd have to go Norwood this week, and it'll be interesting to see their depth though. Norwood this year, they've lost long-serving captain Keith Krause. He's not available. Nick Hamble's retired, and also Jack Jennings. So there's 3 front court players that they're going to need to replace, and they've got some young guys coming through. It's whether or not those young guys can play a role, and they'll need to if they want to go back to back. But time will tell.
Well, Norwood, of course, a powerhouse in the competition. They're going to be forced to reckon with. Again, it's hard to not back them, especially in these circumstances. But they're going to have a very, very strong team against them, or a couple of teams, of course, there on Friday night. So looking forward to that. And of course, as we've mentioned, Friday night, that's where it all begins. And we're going to have a look at all the games that are across the week here. And that's topping the list there, Woodville and Norwood, of course, at Mars Stadium. And then Eastern and Forestville up there at Mount Barker. That should be an interesting game there.
That'll be an interesting game. Forestville, both their men's and women's missed out in the finals last year. So you'd think they would be, which is unlike them. So look, I'm going to have to go for Forestville there with Olivia Thompson back in and Adam Doyle back up and about with his knee. They'll be thinking to start off their season with a good win up there.
So make sure to head on down to Mount Barker Stadium for that one there, Adelaide Hills Rec Centre. Then of course North Adelaide take on West Adelaide at Hillcrest. Of course 2 huge sides in, both men and women again. That should be very, very exciting to watch. South Adelaide take on Sturt at Marion. And then Southern v Centrals down south at Morphett Vale Stadium as well. So can't wait for those games. Coming up on Friday night, make sure you get on down to your local club or stadium to take a little look at those games there. Round 1 of the Premier League, it's just around the corner. We can't wait for it. Doug, thanks for your company once again, mate.
Thanks for having me, Sam. I can't wait for this weekend.
It's going to be fantastic. And all season long, join us here for the Premier League Overtime show with myself, Sam and Doug, as we bring you all of the Premier League action right here on Austral Sports and Basketball SA. Bye for now.